What is going on, guys? Correct 1287 here. I'm bringing you yet another Battlefield 4 gameplay. Gonna be giving you guys today some tips, sort of specifically for Pearl Market when in the rush mode. Now what you're seeing right here is my very first time hopping on this map with this map, or with this game type. And as you can see, I just logged in. This is my very first time getting in there, and that's my very first death. I logged in a little late. You saw we were at about 80 tickets. I think that this was a 140 ticket rush server, or 150, something of that sort. And so not too much had gone on. Now, I quickly realized what direction the attackers are coming from. I can see there the US spawn point, and I quickly remembered that this map, I had played it a good bit in Chain Link and Conquest, and I remembered that verticality was a very big deal. And so I decided that I should probably go check out some of the second and third floors and get onto the rooftops, and that is where this map does become very troublesome for attackers. Rush mode in general for Battlefield 4 has not had the greatest time. I eventually, at first I thought these guys were actually spawning and they came down that hallway there, but I do realize that it is pretty much all west that they spawn. But yeah, Battlefield 4 has had a rough time with rush. It hasn't been too favorable. People typically say the maps are not very well designed. I think that they're alright. Are some more challenging than others, and maybe a little less balanced? Well, yeah, they're not all going to be equally balanced, but I thoroughly enjoyed Rush for Battlefield 4. But this map is definitely one of the more challenging ones. See, even if you get these things armed, whether it's A or B MCOMs, you can just, if you're the defending team and you've got this building dominated, you can just hop down, even if they clear out on the ground floor. People in the second, third, and rooftop can just hop down to quickly disarm. That makes it pretty troublesome. Most maps, there's one building that's next to an MCOM, but in this one, if you have domination of that building, then you can easily hop out on either side and defend either A or B and defuse them. So it makes for a real challenge, but also right here, as you can see, this is where I learned that you can get onto these ledges and you look right into their spawn. I mean, you'll actually see some of these guys straight up spawn out of thin air. You'll see them as they're spawning in. That's really rough. They don't have too much cover. Once they get up to the pillars underneath this actual train, this bridge, then they actually have some cover. But up until they get to that point, they really don't have much cover, which is rough for them as attackers. You've really got to, from the start of a round, you've got to get into that building as the attackers and take control of that building. Otherwise, as a defending team, you're just gonna, you're gonna have control. Now, this is my second time as defenders in this map, and I quickly realized that, yeah, it's this one. I remember this. I remember what I did during my first time playing, and I go quickly to the rooftop. I'm able to cover on this Bravo side, and then I can easily come back to this point, the same one you saw before, and you can, the amount of range, the amount of space that you can cover, the amount of their spawn zone that you can see just from this point alone is pretty ridiculous. Thankfully, the enemy team, and see there, that guy just spawned, and there's a teammate spawning on him. So, these guys really do catch on very quick that we are just destroying them from this building, and they do eventually start to use some air bursts and spamming a lot of RPG fire. The only thing is, when they're spamming RPGs and air bursts, that means that there's support class and the engineer class. Granted, they could be using some of the M203 or the noob tube grenade launcher, but because there are these classes using RPGs and air bursts, they're not very many assault players, and that's one of the biggest classes for the attacking team. There's not many vehicles. There's really not a reason that they should be the engineer class, and they don't really need C4 to take out vehicles, so they don't really need to be support. but there happen to be these classes that have a lot of splash damage kind of weaponry to kill us because we're behind so much cover. The noob tube might not cut it because it just doesn't have enough splash and enough damage output to, and see here the guy does get me with the airburst. So that's really hindering them because they're spending a lot of their time just shooting explosive stuff at us and not actually pushing. When they do push, if we happen to kill them, they can't revive, they can't heal themselves, so that they can start pushing again much sooner rather than waiting for the healing, the default healing time to happen. So, and in that same round, they finally caught on that this southern flank is really the key. They had, well, okay, not their whole team, but a squad did realize, and that one squad, I mean, look how many of us got us out of that building, out of our cover, and forced us, a bunch of us, look how many of this is just to respond to probably one squad. This flank was clearly the key. And coming up in the next clips is finally me and my TG guys as attackers. And so now we are, this is us attacking, and this is our first time ever attacking on this map. And again, we realized that, you know, this right flank, that southern flank, was the key. So I had, at this point in this recording, I'd actually already armed it. I went straight in on the MCOM as the rest of my squad, the other 4 guys, went for this far southern flank. I was hoping that that maybe I'd be able to get it armed, but they actually had a good bit of people on B. I did get it armed, but they killed me and disarmed it. But still, the rest of them had stayed back far enough. They didn't get noticed. They didn't get killed. And so I was able to spawn on them. And here we're just talking about, in TeamSpeak, whether it's clear, and obviously, as you can see, it's not. And I get killed a couple times by people in that building. And that's the point where I realized, okay, flanking is not enough. We really got to clear out that building. They are shooting at us down in this little market a little too much. And again, like I said, they can just hop right out and disarm even if we do get it armed. And again, because we weren't stuck in our spawn shooting explosives, we've got a lot of assault players. We've got the revives going. So here I do get it armed, and I decide we got to start clearing this out. And how these RGO impacts don't kill anybody, I really don't get that, but that's just chalk it up to bad luck. But I do start clearing out this second floor, and I already see a buddy just came down from the 3rd floor. So we have got this place on lockdown. We can get these things armed. You'll see Bravo is still blinking there, just further cleaning up some of the stragglers. But yeah, so we've got Bravo now destroyed. Alpha is now armed. They don't have anybody they can hop off of the roof or 3rd floor or 2nd floor or anything of that sort. So I just start clearing off some of the other rooftops. Now that we have a good tactical advantage, we can actually shoot at their rooftoppers from our own rooftop. So yeah, they do end up actually getting it disarmed. We still are working on getting it good to go. But long story short, as you'll see here, we do end up getting a victory. And so yeah, every other time I've played on this as defenders, I have just completely locked down the enemy team. At the first set of MCOMs, I've yet to see an enemy team get past my team when I'm defending. And every time I've played, we have done that far flank and gotten through it reasonably quick. So, guys, if you are doing this, if you're playing Rush and you're on the market, make sure you guys flank and flank quickly. Otherwise, because of the amount of verticality, the defending team can just set up a ridiculous defense, and it's almost impossible to clear them out from every floor. There's just so much verticality, so much urban combat. You just can't clear them all out. There'll be some spawn beacon, recon spawn beacon somewhere, if not one random teammate that's crouching in a corner, just staying off the radar in hopes that his squad mates will spawn on him. So you've got to push really quick. The name of the game is Rush. The name of your team are attackers, so do that. Attack and do it with a rushing rush. Alright, guys, I hope that this does help you out, and Hopefully you're going to be on the team with me that is flanking and not just charging up the center, getting spawn camped by people on the second and third floors and rooftops. So hope you guys have enjoyed these tips and enjoyed the gameplay. Have a good one. Ta-ta.